Mr. Soos, why shouldn't the opposition be seen as obstructionist, where they are banding together because they are against the Prime Minister, and there really isn't any narrative, because ultimately you'd be coming in to these same, the same building where the first session starts. So what's really the point in all of this?
The point is very simple. I mean, I don't think this is not about obstructionism. You know, if this had been done the right way, if this had been done in a dignified way, if the president and the vice president and the prime minister were there, all of us would be there, and we'd be happily there. So, when the Parliament building is inaugurated and the Parliament starts functioning, we will be there. Why? Because we always raise the issues of the people, although this Prime Minister, this ruling party has taken a number of anti-democratic steps that we oppose, and that is why we feel that it is a bit rich for the Prime Minister to say that this is the mother of democracy, when he actually uses all sorts of institutions to damage democracy in India. You know, you ask these people, you try to go to Parliament, you say, let's talk about Chinese aggression against India, they say you're anti-national. You tell them, okay, let's talk about inflation because it is killing people, and they say, we don't eat onions and garlic. You say, look, there are no jobs in the country. They say, pakode talo. I mean, what is this? I mean, this is the same government which claims to be so democratic and building a temple of democracy that arrested the entire leadership of Jammu and Kashmir in 2019. Now, our question is simple. Mr. Prime Minister, we're building a house. This house belongs to all. This is the Parliament, and the Constitution's Article 79 says the Parliament is what? What is the Parliament? It says the Parliament is the President, and it says the President. Parliament is what? The Parliament comprises of the President and,
Okay, sir, you're quoting Article, there's Article 111, 79, all of that is separate. Tuhin said, I'm going to bring you in all of that. Because, yes, you can interpret the articles and it's very clear that the president is the head of... Yes, sir, go ahead.
One quick point. Just one quick point, just 5 seconds. If we were to build a home, if you were to build a home, say you and your husband wanted to build a home, or my wife and I wanted to build a home, would the head of the household in my family, my father and mother, would they not be invited to the foundation laying ceremony? Would they not be invited to inaugurate the home that we built? How can we forget the head of the state?
Okay, that's the same question which I asked you. Okay,
the temple of democracy is being built, but the chief priest is absent. That's strange.
Mr. Soos, okay, you can say it's strange. You can attach a moral judgment to it. You can't say it's illegal. Tuhin Sinha,
I did not say it is illegal.
Right.
I did not say it is illegal.
Yes. So that it's a matter for you. Okay. For the opposition, Tuhin Sinha.
It is highly improper.
For the opposition, it's improper. It's a matter of propriety, because as per the Constitution, the head of the Parliament and even the Vice President who presides over one of these houses is not going to be in attendance on such a momentous day. And I'll, at the cost of repeating myself, that's the question. Do you not find it odd?
Well, Preeti, that can be debated in the first session of Parliament if the Congress has such a big issue with it. But the problem with this Congress is that it thrives in intellectual dishonesty and brazen hypocrisy. Do you remember the kind of falsehood, the kind of, brazen falsehood it had planted in the media during the making of the Parliament? They were calling it Modi's personal palace. Does that opposition have any moral authority today to comment on who should be inaugurating it? If at all, they should be discussing it in the first session of Parliament. Today, let me not mince any words over here. Let me tell you the exact reason why the opposition is boycotting it. Initially, the Congress party wanted to boycott it because it was happening on the day of Veer Savarkar's birth anniversary. And today, now they feel embarrassed because the whole truth about Sengal, the way they had hidden the truth about Sengal, stands exposed. They don't have the face to come there.
Okay. Riju, Dutta, you wanted to make a point, come in.
I just want to put it on record why Trinamool Congress is boycotting this inauguration, and 3 very specific points. Number 1, we believe the president should have inaugurated this. So it is an insult to the chair of the President of India. Number 2, The president, both the past president and the current president, were not involved in this Central Vista project, even during the foundation stone laying and even during the inauguration. So we believe it's a direct insult to the Adivasis, Dalits and the tribals of this country. And number three, Trinamool Congress refuses to be a part of a photo of for one particular individual, whereas the parliament is, parliament belongs to the every citizen.
Riju Dutta, let me turn the situation around. Let me ask you a question, sir. Do you remember the latest, 6 months ago, the controversy that there was between the governor and your chief minister? Do you remember that protocol would have demanded that the governor come up and inaugurate a particular event? I don't even want to go into that, sir, but you do know what went down. Your chief minister inaugurated it.
See, I will be very blunt about it, and I'm not going to mince any words. At that time, the current vice president, Mr. Jagdeep Dhankar, was our governor, and at that time we saw how the Raj Bhavan was transformed into a political
No,
party.
you can't have it both ways. No, Tuhin Sinha. You can't have it both ways, sir. That's the problem. You can't have it both ways. You cannot have it both ways.
No,
that's exactly what I said.
You can attach motive. You can attach motive and say it happened in West Bengal because the office of the governor was attached to the center, and then now turn around and say that the president is the head of the parliament and the president needs to inaugurate it. If you've done so, if you've dished it out, then learn to take it, sir. Anyway, I want to come. Yes, go ahead.
But the only point I want to make here is that the president does not represent a political party. But the governors are selected from the ruling disposition of this country.
So it's still a constitutional post. No, let's not get into that. No. It's still a constitutional post. That's it.